Hello, everyone. My name is Jose Otero, and I'm here with Sam Claiborne.
Hey, listen.
And we are here to talk about Hyrule Warriors, specifically the Zelda trailer, which just showed up in Japan.
Yeah, Zelda's one of several ladies you can play as in Zelda this time around in Hyrule Warriors. A spin-off of Zelda, I should say.
Yeah, so quickly, let's just start here, right? I mean, we see not only her outfit, but her sword. A little better definition, but why don't we mention a little bit about the sword?
Sure, yeah, we were talking about this earlier. When have we seen Zelda with a sword? Well, we've seen her in Wind Waker with a little pirate sword, but she also has a sword in the end of Twilight Princess when Ganon kind of uses her as a puppet to fight Link, and it looks similar to this.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, by the way, we'll probably be talking about a lot of Zelda spoilers in this, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what games you've played. We've played a lot of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so be prepared.
Yeah, it's a similar like gold long sword, but this sword is a rapier in the game, which means it has that kind of like cutlass curved handle protecting your hand, and it's a little different.
Cool. And so right here, you know, we see very familiar Zelda enemies. We see the Stall Children. We see back there our friend the Poe.
I love the Poe.
Yeah, because
he has his lantern.
Yes, and he's about to use that to fire what looks like purple-looking fire forward. But you get to see sort of Zelda's combat style and approach, and the obvious call-outs, like for example the light bow. For the past couple of games, Zelda has been the way that Link earns that item, so it makes sense that she would use that item herself.
Yeah, and she uses it in Wind Waker. She uses it to beat down on Ganon. So Link can take him out. I can't tell what the background is here, but it looks like it could be like an underground mine type situation, or it could be like a Gerudo Valley thing.
Yeah, look at those Stall Children too. They have like helmets on.
Yeah.
Like what's going on there? It looks almost like half rock.
Yeah, and just so if you guys don't remember, Stall Children come out of the ground in like Ocarina of Time at night.
Yep.
They come out to attack you. They're undead. They're not to be confused with Stalfos, of which there is one right there.
Yeah, there's one just to the right of Zelda, sort of hanging in the air. And
they're kind of like mini bosses in this game.
Yes, yeah, no.
At least in the demo we both played at E3.
Yeah, they're the enemies that you want to use Z-targeting on, which, by the way, this game does have a form of Z-targeting where there are enemies like the Stall Force or the Lizard Men or other types of enemies, you want to focus and keep an eye on them versus all the other.
Yeah, and it's optional.
Yes.
You can choose to have Zelda-style controls, and which means that you get Z-targeting.
Yeah, so right here, Zelda just spirit bombing. I'm not really sure what the reference was with this move, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't tell what's going on with this. All the other ones seem to have a kind of a foundation in Zelda lore, but this is maybe her just being kind of a magical princess.
Yeah. Also, I wasn't sure why her left hand is glowing, because it's not a Triforce reference, because the Triforce that shows up in every game mostly shows up on her right hand, unless you're talking about Twilight Princess, where that game was mirror reversed on Wii, so everything's a little backwards there.
Yeah, and while you're playing through this, I can talk a little bit about. I played as Zelda,
That's right.
And I noticed that she plays very similarly to Link. But what you do in this game in general is just fight a lot of enemies to build up these special attacks. So this trailer is really showing the special attacks that she has from just killing a lot of these Stall Children.
Yeah, this one looks really great. I was looking at it in slow-mo, and she just kind of comes down and boof. Yeah, sort of the cross-shaped pattern, and everyone goes flying. And that's kind of a common theme with the Dynasty Warrior games. Also here we see a similar type combo. And what kind of Zelda spin-off would not have references to triangles? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I know.
You know, that's just a given. But,
I like that one. So, like, a lot of times you want to get people, you can just fight through these guys, but you can also just get rid of them all in one swoop. And I like how these kind of just send them into the air and you don't see them again. I think that's pretty funny.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, and you're getting rupees left and right in the process, right? Do you actually have to pick up the rupees, or do they automatically sort of end up?
Yeah, I think you see her swinging into the rupees.
Okay, got it.
There's also magic potion drops and stuff like that. It has some pretty classic Zelda-like pickups.
So one thing I will say about her combat style, since it is sort of rapier-esque, because she's using a thin sword, it reminded me a lot of Raphael from Soul Calibur.
Oh, really?
Yeah, very much so. Just sort of the light stab, quick movements and dancing movements. I love that, leading into the bow. And then her hand sort of, her left hand sort of activated, so you're right, just sort of tying into, you've killed a lot of enemies and now you have a special attack of some sorts to kind of use. And then here we go. So this one was really interesting because we had to kind of freeze frame to kind of go through it. So of course you know, if you know Zelda lore, that the three goddesses are sort of the central portion of the early history.
Yeah,
of
Ferrari,
of
Din,
world.
and Nehru.
That's right. And so here we're getting a quick look at what's possibly an attack that calls out to that. So we have Ferrari's Ice, essentially, which Ferrari was the goddess of courage. Then we have the Wind, which
Nehru.
was that. One more time?
Nehru, I think, is the wind, and then Din's fire.
And then lastly, the follow-up with Din's fire. And let's
yeah,
just watch
and all three of those effects look similar to what they've looked like in Zelda games. I mean, it's unclear if that's what the actual reference is, but come on, it's at least red, blue, and green, which are the color of those gods.
That's
sure.
right. Yeah. So it doesn't seem like a foregone conclusion. I completely agree with you. Just putting that up one more time for folks.
Hey, do you think that's Master Ore in the background?
It could be. It actually could be. There have been several ore references whenever mines are involved.
So this area clearly looks like there's always a volcano area in Zelda games, and we weren't really sure where this game is set, except that it's a cross between the universes, right? It's like a realm that's a mixture of both or something, right?
Well,
but there should be places like Death Mountain in it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. There'll be like locations you recognize, like the front of Hyrule Castle, but sort of done in its own style, or Death Mountain and whatnot. And this is kind of dope. You're absolutely right. She just kind of sends everyone flying with that one arrow shot that takes, I don't know, maybe 50 people with it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And it highlights which people are going to get out of the way first, and then you can just run to what you're going to.
So in Japan, the title of this game is called Zelda Muso.
Look at that scarf.
The U.S., yes, that is the scarf Link wears. This game is called Hyrule Warriors. Really quickly, too, just for you folks, there have been some pre-order material. Japan's getting it early. They're getting it August 14th, but they also have access to some pre-order stuff. So Sam loves this, the Triforce clock.
It looks a little janky, but I love the actual display part, but the clock, the Triforce looks great.
So if the alarm is no,
it probably just goes, "Hey, listen."
And then the other pre-order set that they have over there actually includes a treasure chest, a scarf, and the clock.
That
Pretty
scarf.
Crazy. Yeah, that
the treasure chest looks great.
Yep. Hopefully these are coming to America in the West. We're not entirely sure.
Yeah, everybody should tweet at Nintendo of America and CCS, and we'll get those. We'll get those here.
Yeah. All right. So for more Hyrule Warriors, make sure you keep it right here at IGN.